Hey, what is going on YouTube? Mike here for Team Y, and today we have the Nokia X30, one of Nokia's newest smartphones for this year. In this video, I just want to share with you guys 5 things that you need to know about this smartphone. Let's get started. Alright, so it's been a while since I used a Nokia smartphone. If you look at the older videos here on the channel, you'll find that I used the Nokia 6.1, which I really loved because of the design and the spec sheet, and of course the Android One software that was inside the phone. But ever since then, Nokia has changed their approach to smartphones a bit. They are now mostly focusing on budget smartphones. And while the Nokia X30 isn't exactly a premium handset, it looks like they're about to change the way they approach smartphones again. And the X30 is evidence of that. Now, if you guys want to check out this phone, I will drop some links in the description below. And with that said, let's get to the video. Alright, so let's start off with the design on this phone. Now, the Nokia X30 comes with a clean and pretty premium look despite the mid-range price tag. It combines some recycled aluminum along the edges of the smartphone and a very smooth matte plastic finish on the back. And it's been a while since we've seen this kind of design language from Nokia, as for the past few years, they've stuck to mostly polycarbonate phones, which I wasn't really a fan of. But with this one, you do get aluminum parts again, and it does have a really premium feel to it. It also comes with chamfered edges, and surprisingly, they aren't too sharp to handle, at least in my usage. And yeah, I am a big fan of the design on this phone, and yeah, it's a really solid style for sure. Alright, so up next we have the display. We have a 6.4-inch AMOLED display on this phone. It's got a 90Hz variable refresh rate, which is a really nice addition at this price point. And it does have a layer of Gorilla Glass Victus, which helps with protection. Now, it is very responsive, and of course, in a day and age where the main interaction with their smartphones is through the display, I think that Nokia and HMD Global have done a great job with the screen on the X30. Now, one thing to note is that the bezels are a bit large, so if you're after a phone with really slim bezels, then of course this is something to take into consideration. But aside from that, I do like the display, and Nokia has done a great job here. Now with the display, you do get a built-in fingerprint scanner. Now it's not fast as an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner like what you see on most Samsung flagships, but during my time using it, it is fast and responsive, which is the kind of performance that you always want to see on this kind of feature. Now it does come with face unlock as well. Now in the event that you're having a bit of trouble with the fingerprint scanner, or maybe you're wearing gloves because it's autumn and it's starting to get really cold, then the face unlock option on here is a nice alternative. You do get a Snapdragon 695 processor on here, and overall general performance is good. I was able to use it for day-to-day tasks, and for a lot of casual and moderate users that Nokia is targeting with the smartphone, it will be more than capable for day-to-day usage. Now with that said, if you want to game on the smartphone, you'll have to keep in mind the limitations of the hardware. So while I was able to play a game like Grid Autosport on this phone, which is a pretty graphics intensive game, I would suggest that you mostly stick with titles that have been optimized for most smartphones, as those kinds of games will have very little trouble running on the X30. This isn't a phone meant for gaming. It's a phone meant for everyday use that'll get you through the day without any problems. And in relation to that, I want to bring in the battery on this phone. Now it does come with a 4200 mAh battery, which so far has been reliable. Now it gets me from morning to evening, and I haven't really felt the need to grab a charger in the middle of the day, and charging speeds are pretty decent as well. It doesn't take as long to charge as the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 6a, which is of course very ideal if you are in a pinch. Alright, so last but definitely not the least on this video is the camera performance. Now, when I was using the Nokia 6.1 back in 2018, I wasn't really impressed with the camera until I used Gcam on that smartphone. But with the X30, I haven't really felt the need to install a Gcam mod for the device. I was pleasantly surprised with the camera performance on the phone. I mean, in general, as a point-and-shoot device, it gets surprisingly good results. And a lot of the photos that I've been able to take on the smartphone in general have looked really nice. I guess that's a simple way to put it. There's a decent balance of color and contrast, and even in low light situations, the night mode on the X30 is very impressive. Given the right conditions, it can get you some good exposure and details even in night shots. And I gotta say that the computational photography on the X30 is a terrific improvement on Nokia's behalf. I'd say one weakness though is the video quality. Unfortunately, you can't shoot 4K videos on the X30, which is kind of a bummer given that most competing smartphones in this price bracket can get you 4K video recording. But if all you're after is a terrific point-and-shoot camera for social media from a well-known smartphone brand, then the X30 is a very decent performer. Now in closing, it does come at a price that's pretty close to other devices like the Nothing Phone 1 and the Pixel 6a, and I guess that's a major consideration if you're thinking of getting the X30. On one hand, it's a great improvement on past Nokia phones, but on the other hand, for the same price, you can get the Pixel 6a, which does come with some Google exclusive features, as well as a really impressive camera. Perhaps you'll be willing to wait for a price drop on this phone, or maybe if you're really a hardcore Nokia fan and you really want to try out this phone, then of course there's nothing stopping you from getting the X30. So yeah, these are my thoughts on the Nokia X30. If you guys have your own thoughts on this smartphone, feel free to share them in the comments down below. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.